Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and we are approaching an absolutely vital day tomorrow. So tomorrow, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index numbers are going to be released. It's going to happen at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So it should be right ahead of the stock market open. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you what is expected for the CPI numbers. But first, I also want to go ahead and show you a very important indicator that we got today called the Producer Price Index. And this is basically how much producers are paying for goods. Okay, so this PPI advanced 8.5% a year-over-year basis, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, economists were expecting 8.4%. Okay, so it came in higher than a lot of the economists were expecting, all right, which is not a good sign. Okay, now they said on a month-to-month basis, the consumer prices climbed 0.4% in September compared to a decline of 0.2% in August. All right, so again, not good on a month-to-month basis, and economists were expecting a monthly increase of 0.1%. Now, if they take out the categories of food and energy, the index will increases by 7.2% on a yearly basis and 0.2% on a monthly basis. Okay, and apparently those figures were in line with expectations. So, what does that mean? What it means is that it's more likely than not, that the CPI numbers are probably going to come in at the very least at expectations, more likely above expectations, if ever so slightly. Okay. So another important thing I want to point out here, right? So they're saying prior to the PPI data, the head of the International Fixed Income at Nat Alliance Securities wrote that most of the commentary we read from dealers is the expected number tomorrow. CPI will be better than the previous, but still too sticky for the Fed to change their hawkish direction. All right. However, since that PPI report was released, economists don't think that that's going to be the case. All right. The rise in producer prices in September suggests that Thursday's consumer price index will also remain elevated, as prices consumers pay for goods in the future are derived from the prices that producers pay today. All right. So what does that all mean? What that means is we are most likely going to wind up seeing a higher CPI number tomorrow. All right. So why do we care about that? The reason why the crypto markets care about this is because the CPI number is one of the indicators the Fed is using to determine the rate of inflation. Okay. Now, if the CPI keeps coming in higher than expected, the Fed's going to have to keep raising rates, and they're going to have rates higher for longer. And a Fed that's raising interest rates is bad. That's very bearish for Bitcoin and crypto commodities, because largely speaking, you're going to increase the power of the dollar, the strength of the dollar. The dollar will put pressure on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a commodity, and Bitcoin largely drives the crypto markets. So last time CPI was released, we can see here, based on this candle here, massive red candle coming up here. All right. Now, one thing I will say for certain here is that the reason why this red candle was so large is not because of the surprise of CPI numbers when that was released, but rather because it had a huge run up ahead of time here. Now, going into tomorrow, we don't see as big of a run up, so I don't think we're going to see as large of a red candle. We might actually see a more muted response. But I think that we're going to wind up seeing increased volatility tomorrow. We're probably going to wind up seeing larger candles than what we've seen in the past couple of days. And I don't think that it's going to be positive. All right. So that's Bitcoin. We take a look at Ethereum, and Ethereum also had a very similar reaction. Again, going back to the 13th, this big red candle here that was printed, because most of the crypto market follows Bitcoin, and Ethereum is no exception here. Even in Binance Coin, which kind of has bucked the trend a little bit, even Binance Coin had a big red candle on that day that CPI was released. So what am I thinking about CPI numbers? Right now, I'm not buying ahead of the CPI numbers. I want to see what happens when they come out. It's entirely possible that I'm wrong about this and we actually get a bit of a boost from that. However, I think that if it comes in as I expect it to be a little bit higher, or maybe even on point on the estimate, and the market still sells off regardless because of the fact that the interest rates are still high, the inflation rate is still higher, we could see Bitcoin all come back down here and retest this 18,800 level, and then come all the way back down here and test this 18,400 level. Okay, this CPI print could actually be the catalyst to push Bitcoin under this support level here, and that would be potentially disastrous for the price. Okay, because like I said, there's not a lot of other price action below this point. There's not a lot of support below this point. So if the CPI print comes out tomorrow and it's disastrous and it's bad and it's higher than usual, then Bitcoin is most likely going to break this support level. But again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't think that it will be. I don't think it will be that disastrously bad, but I'm not expecting it's going to be good. So we might actually come back down here and retest this level 18,700 or so in this region. And then we can wind up seeing it retest this level, but not necessarily break through it. I think that it is possible that we'll come down here and bounce off of this support level, and we'll get a little bit of a bounce after that point. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. Okay, so with CPI coming out, it's going to be volatile. We're going to see increased volatility, and I am not buying going into CPI. I want to see where things stand first, and I will put out an updated video tomorrow just to describe what happened in the market. Again, taking a look at Ethereum. Ethereum can definitely come down here, retest the 1273 price, and then retest the 1238 price, especially on bad CPI news. And with BNB, it's kind of the same kind of story here. We can definitely get a retest of the 260, and then it would come down here to about 242 at that point. All right. Either way, no matter what you guys are doing, be safe out there. Use proper risk management. This is not financial advice, but regardless of the short term, I'm still very bullish in the long term when it comes to things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and even Binance coin as well. So again, in the long term, I think that we'll wind up seeing a significantly higher Bitcoin in the future. But for the short term, we're having so many bearish macro events happening, and I right now am just standing by to see what the release is going to be, the CPI, and then also the Fed meeting, which is going to be coming in the 1st and the 2nd of next month. That will also drive the price of the crypto market and Bitcoin. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this content, like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Let me know what I'm doing that you like and what I do that you don't like as well. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you on the next video.